Thanks for joining me for practice. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel and share it with family and friends. And in the description is a link to the Patreon account. If you'd like to offer a donation, it's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. So let's move the flesh from the sit bones, sit tall, close the eyes. And just take a moment to settle into the body. Anchor and root down through the sit bones and lift through the crown of the head. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Allow the heart to be open and spacious. As you realign the spine, just begin to watch the rise and fall of your abdomen. Inhale, belly swells. Exhale, navel draws back to spine. As the breath comes in and moves in towards the abdomen, and you feel that expansion, feel that not just the belly, but the pelvic floor is being filled with breath. And then as you exhale, feel the breath come from a lift of the pelvic floor, navel drawing in and up, passing the rib cage, passing the chest, and leaving through the nostrils. So on inhale, breath comes in and goes down. And on exhale, breath comes up and goes out. And we really want to trace that long pathway along the spine. In and down to root, exhaling up and out. And then if you'd like, you can add in that soft ocean wave or whisper type sound to the breath. Ujjayi breathing. And let that soothing sound keep you focused on the breathing pattern. Starting to create an even inhale and an even exhale. And then let that even pattern of inhalation and exhalation create a sense of stability in the body and in the mind. And just two more here, please. And when you finish that second one, just relax all effort. And just let the breath be natural. Mind and body settle. And feel the residual effects. The effects of that conscious practice seeping into all the tissues, all the cells and organs. And really filling them with light prana. And then we'll bring our hands together in front of the heart, let the thumbs touch the sternum, bow the head to the hands. And we're going to set the intention for the practice today, working with the laterals or the side bodies. So this is a great opportunity to create space in the body. And when we create that space, we naturally invite in healing. That the body's own intelligence comes in to clean and clear out what is not helpful. At the same time, too, with that space, there's plenty of room for the oxygen and prana and other helpful things, nutrients, to come in and then absorb into the parts of the body that it's needed. So we find that when we increase our laterals, we expand our laterals, we increase our capacity for breath. And breath has so much to offer us other than just pure oxygen. In many ways, it's the healing balm. It's what connects the body to the mind, to the spirit. And it's one of the most essential ingredients in most wisdom teachings of a way to access deeper knowing, more clarity, more peace. So we'll set the intention to work with expanding the laterals and increasing our breath. And if there's anything that you would like to add to that intention, please state that mentally now. And then place all this in your heart where you surround it with unconditional love and compassion. And we'll start the practice with the chant of Om 3 times. Deep inhale in. Long exhale out. Deep inhale in. And then just lower your chin to your chest. Lower your hands to your knees. Inhale, keep your eyes closed. Just take your right ear to your right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. And then inhale the left ear to the left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. And keep going. Inhaling right ear. Feel the opening through the left side of the cervical spine. Chin to chest, and then inhale left ear to left shoulder. And just keep moving slowly back and forth. If you find a spot that feels good, you could stay there. And just really enjoy it. Notice as you're moving all the tiny little muscle fibers in the neck, and then how they tend to get tight, and it contributes then to that tension in the upper back and this whole upper body where we find our breathing. And we're meant to use the diaphragm primarily for a deep breath, but when we're stressed or unconsciously breathing, we tend to use these auxiliary muscles here in the upper body and upper back and chest more than we use our diaphragm, which we call sometimes reverse diaphragmatic breathing. And this leads to more tension in this area. So go ahead and bring your chin back down towards your chest. Interlace your fingers around the base of your skull and just let the elbows grow heavy and feel that stretch along the back of the spine. Breathe here. Now with the elbows remaining steady, dip your right elbow down lower than your left, twisting your neck. And then dip your left elbow down lower than your right and twist your neck there. And just keep going back and forth a few times. And when you come back to center, just release the hands. Take your time to slowly bring your head back to neutral. Take your right arm out in front of you and take your left arm over at the elbow. Rotate the palms together into eagle arms. And then inhale, lift the elbows as high as you can. And then exhale, lower them as low as you can, depressing the shoulder heads. Do that again. Inhale, lift the elbows up. Exhale and lower. So we're just opening up through the back of the heart here, back of the shoulder blades. Keep going. Last two. And you can almost feel as you're moving those little ropey muscle fibers where chronic contraction has settled in. And then when you finish that last one, we'll release and we'll switch. So now take your left arm out, right arm over at the elbow, and rotate the palms in the other direction. And same thing, up and down a few times here, just to feel if there's any change. And because we're yogis and we stretch on the regular, the muscles will respond to that a lot sooner than they would for someone who's not as familiar with the practice. So the muscles know that this is safe, and over time they start to really open, and you can maybe feel that this side might actually be a little bit easier than the other, depending on where you hold your tension in the body. One more here. And then we're going to release the arms and do big circles all the way around. Full rotation for the shoulders. Just bringing in some of that lubrication to the joint. And then go in the other direction. Full rotation around the other way. And again here too, just observe. Keep your chin in slightly, back of the neck long as you're moving. Good. And then just lower your hands to your knees for a moment. Let everything settle. Keep your shoulder heads relaxed away from your ears. So we're going to be working with the breath today, and I just want to clean and clear out anything that might be in the way. So we're going to do a few rounds here of Kapalabhati breathing, which is a cleansing technique. If you need to, you can place your hand on your diaphragm, but it's the short, forceful exhales out through the nostrils. The inhale's passive because the exhale's so strong. So we're going to start with a round of 54. Take a deep inhale in. Exhale about 3/4 of the breath out, and 54 rounds of Kapalabhati. Begin. Slow it down. Close your eyes for a moment and feel the residual effects of the practice. Remember, Kapalabhati helps to clean and clear out, so you can really, as you're doing the practice, see and feel the density, the heaviness, any stagnation being removed. Deep inhale in, and we'll do another round. Exhale 3/4 of the breath out. 54. Begin. Slow it down. Deep inhale in. Exhale it out, close your eyes, and just feel all that oxygen, all the replenishment. Good. Let's come into tabletop position. So building upon some of that work we were doing in the shoulders, we're going to come into tabletop position. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, tops of the feet pressed down. First, we'll do some undulations of the spine by inhale. Lift the heart, lift the sit bones, look up. Then exhale, press into the hands, knees, and feet, and open up the back of the heart. Tailbone lengthens, navel draws in and up. Inhale again, heart lifts, sit bones lift, expand. Exhale, push into hands, knees, and feet. Open up through the back of the heart, contracting the abdomen. Keep going, inhaling, exhaling with your even breath. Breathing chest, ribs, belly to pelvic floor. And exhaling, pelvic floor, belly, ribs, and chest. Two more, please. Just keep observing how the spine moves, really taking in that information of what you're finding in there today. Each day is a little different. And on this last one, navel to the spine, we'll round the back and take the sit bones all the way to the heels for child's pose. And walk the hands out in front of you, forehead to the mat. Come up onto your fingertips if you'd like for a moment, just to let the heart dip through the shoulders. And then lower the hands down, relax the elbows. Breathe deeply here. And walk your hands to the right. Press your left sit bone down. So your first really lateral stretch here. Let the grounding through the palms help open and create traction along that left side of the body. Relax the tops of the shoulder heads. Breathe deeply into your left lung, expanding into that left rib cage. One more full breath here. And now come back to center, and we'll do the other thing on the other side. So walk your left hand and right hand over to the left. And again, the traction of the hands grounding into the earth will help open up that right side body. Lean into it a little bit. Bow the rib cage, bow the hip. And softening the top of the shoulder again, send the breath deeply into right lung, right rib cage. One more full breath here. Good, and then come back to center. Come back in a tabletop position. So we're going to open the left arm out for a moment to the left side, and then bring that arm through the hole, rolling over onto the shoulder for thread the needle pose. Right hand grounds into the earth, push the floor away from you, and stretch into the back of the heart and into that shoulder blade. Now try your best to keep your tops of your feet, knees, and hips level so that we're isolating the twist in the upper back. And if you'd like, you can take your right arm up in the air and just let the back of that hand float towards the back of the other hand. Or you're welcome to turn the hand like a doorknob, take it behind you, and then bind the right shoulder open. Either way, relax your left cheek into the mat, softening here through the neck. Again, keeping that twist where we want it in that upper back and shoulder area. Keep breathing here, long, deep breaths. And then take the right hand back up into the air, come back into tabletop position, and be gentle as you unwind the spine. Other side, we're going to take the right arm up for just a moment. And then thread that arm through the hole on the other side, rolling onto right shoulder blade this time. Left hand at a 90-degree angle. Push the floor away from you. And keep tucking that shoulder blade underneath the body. Head and neck stays relaxed here. Knees, feet, hips are completely stable. And then if you want, take left arm up in the air. And just let the back of that hand float towards the back of the other hand. Or you can do the bind by grabbing onto your shirt or your thigh and actively pull that left shoulder blade open. Relax your cheek. Keep twisting, unwinding. Find the breath doing the work for you. Last one here. And the left arm goes back up into the air. Come back into tabletop position. Ground through both hands, knees, and feet, and find stability. All right, we're going to move into half downward facing dog, which we sometimes call puppy pose. So if you need to scoot back on your mat a little bit to do that, go ahead. But you're going to walk your hands forward and let your forehead come into the floor. So it's different than child's pose because the hips stay in alignment with the knees, and the hips, knees, and feet make a perfect right angle. And then from here, we're going to take that navel deeply in and up under the rib cage. And one of the things I like about this half down dog variation is how much it helps to open up the upper back. So breathe right into the back of the heart. Breathe into the shoulders. Head and neck is just long here. Forehead resting gently on the earth. Most of the action is in the core, the legs, and feet. See how wide you can get your upper back as you breathe into the back body. 2 more breaths. And really filling the back of the lungs. You know, we tend to focus a lot on the front side of the body, forgetting about feeding and filling the back body. And then to take a break, we're going to walk our hands back in, come back up into tabletop position. Now here we're going to bring the elbows down into our mat. Wrap the hands around the middle part of the arms and either interlace the fingers and press the forearms down or spread the palms wide with the forearms parallel. Coming into dolphin, we'll tuck the toes under, lift the sit bones up and back, which is really forearm down dog. So we're kind of inching our way towards downward facing dog. And again here too, because the forearms are grounded, the upper back stays nice and open. So again, focusing our breath right into that area, feeling space there. So because whenever we're doing lateral work, we're really looking at the whole torso, the whole thorax. So breathing into not just the side bodies, but the front and the back of the spine. And notice here how gravity helps to take the belly button in and up under the rib cage at the bottom of the exhale if you give in to gravity. And this really just creates a deeper mula and uddiyana bandha if you offer a little effort to that. Head and neck hangs, don't grip the neck. 2 more. And the knees come to floor. Sit bones to heels, round the upper back. And this time if you'd like embryo, you can take the hand by the heels, softening everything here. And come back into tabletop position. So in tabletop position here, we're going to just do a little bit of what's called the wagging of the tail, and just look over your right shoulder while you tilt your right hip towards your right shoulder, and you'll feel that stretch along the left side of the body. And now come back to neutral, tilt your left hip look over your left shoulder and breathe here, so you'll feel that tilt along the right side body. And you're just going to slowly go back and forth. Take your time. This little muscle specifically that we're really working, this quadratus lumborum, is what connects the ribs to the hips. It tends to get pretty tight here. And it's just this tiny little square-like muscle. And just go back and forth one more time, right and left. Just feeling the lateral space. Good, and then come back to center. Inhale, lift heart, lift sit bones, look up. Exhale, tuck the toes. And finally making our way into downward facing dog. Feet about hip distance apart, toes turned in slightly, heels out. Roll the inner thighs in and back, allow the sit bones to spread. And in the upper body, roll your shoulder heads away from your ears. Squeeze your inner elbows towards the midline. And really root through the web of the index and thumb and the roots of all the fingers. As you ground through the hands and feet, lift your tailbone up as high as you can and really elongate the back of the legs. And then soften your head and neck. Surrender there. Breathe deeply into the body. Each exhalation, take the navel more deeply in and up underneath the rib cage. Just enjoy that full breath. Now another lateral stretch. We're going to bring the feet together so the big toes touch. Turn the toes to the left. Bend both knees. And now dip in the hips and feel that stretch all along the left lateral. And then come back to center. Turn your toes to the right. And same thing. Dip your hips. And now feel that stretch along the right lateral. And come back to center. Rise onto the balls of the feet. Bend the knees, look at the hands, step forward to your fingertips, and now just open your feet hip distance apart. Hang into your forward fold and soften. So we're going to do a few rounds of dynamic bridge. Hands on top of the shins to start. Dynamic monkey rather. Hands on top of the shins to start. Inhale, lift your chest away from your thighs. Elongate, and then exhale and slide your hands down your shins as you forward fold. Repeat that again. Inhale, hands slide up the shins, flatten the back, send the sternum forward, away from pubic bone. Exhale and soften down. Good. Keep going. Inhaling and exhaling. You're extending on inhale, sliding the hands up, flattening the back. Exhale, the navel hugs in as you slide back down. 3 more, please, with your breath. Think of as reaching the crown away from the pubic bone that you're creating more length along the sides. Good, and now we'll stay in the forward fold, and if you need that little micro bend in your knee, please take it. Find your balance in your feet, so don't sink in your heels. Come forward in the balls of the feet. Even pressure on inner foot and outer foot. And now wrap the arms around the elbows and just allow the arms to hang and dangle. And this is one of the few times that we can really let those shoulders move up by the ears. Everything can just hang forward. Head and neck is completely relaxed. So you can imagine the crown of the head just having a weight attached to it, sinking it down towards the earth. And now as you let those shoulders stay heavy and kind of sink by the ears, do bring in just a slight engagement of the shoulder heads away from the ears, and now feel that the neck lengthens as you do that. And then maintain this position. Side bodies are long. Breathe deeply here. Each exhale like a sigh, letting go. Last 2 breaths, please. And then bring your hands onto your shins. Press your chest forward. So you can lean into the hands a little bit to do this. Bring your body weight forward and then just feel that the blood is leveling out. And then hands to hips. Engage the back body. Press equally into both feet. And slowly come up to standing. And you can roll the shoulder heads away from the ears again and just loosen all of that up. Big toes are touching, space between the heels. Arms down by your side. Inhale, take your right arm up in the air. And now we're going to exhale and lean over to the left. And the left hand slides down the thigh. Press deeply into the outside of the right foot. Absorb the tailbone in and lift the lower belly. Now, gaze can either be neutral or up at the inner arm if it's comfortable. And now work on breathing into this right lung. So on the inhale, you might come out of the pose a little bit to get the full breath. And on the exhale, you might sink and soften a little deeper into the pose. Remember, we're opening up these laterals to facilitate greater breath. So the last thing you want to do is hold the breath. One more. Then inhale, reach the right arm all the way up. And exhale the arm by your side. Take a moment, just observe right side versus left. Okay, other side. Inhale the left arm up. And now exhale, lean over to your right side. Right hand slides down the thigh. Press deeply into the outside edge of the left foot. So there's your anchoring point. Tailbone lengthens towards the floor. Lower belly pulls in and up. So Mula, Uddiyana Bandha help to support the posture here. And either gaze stays forward or up at the inner arm. And now concentration on the breath, not just holding the pose as stiffly as we can, but inhale, find a little lift. Exhale, a little more softening. And just let the breath move you. One more here. And then inhale, rise up. And exhale, lower the arm and just take a moment to feel. Step your right leg back and line the front heel with the arch of the back foot for about 3.5 feet triangle pose. You want your hips open to the side wall. We're going to externally rotate our right arm so the palm faces up. Inhale your left arm up and over your head. And now exhale, lengthen over that front leg. Hand to the shin, ankle, foot, or floor. Now inhale your top arm over your head and follow it with your gaze. And then exhale, look down at the floor and pull the arm back. Inhale, extend your left arm and then come all the way up. And that's one round. Let's do that again. Exhale over the front leg. Hand to shin, ankle, foot, or floor. Inhale the top arm over the head, follow it with your gaze. Exhale, look down at the floor, pull the arm back. Left arm extends first on your inhale and then press into the feet and rise up. Again, exhale. Hand to shin, ankle, foot, or floor. Inhale, follow it with your gaze. Fill the right lung. Exhale, look down, pull the arm away. Left arm extends, press into the feet, come up. Again. Each movement has a breath associated. Take your time, there's no rush. Inhale as you come up, and then last one, exhale. Take a moment to release the hands, return to neutral with the toes in, heels out. Hands on the hips just to rest. And for convenience sake, we're just going to switch the feet. So front heel lined up with the arch of the opposite foot. And again, you're still about 3.5 feet. This time the left arm externally rotates. Inhale the right arm up and over your head. Exhale, you're lengthening over that leg. So you want to extend first and then bring the hand to the shin, ankle, foot, or floor. Inhale the top arm up and over the head. You're looking down as you exhale, pull the arm back. Inhale the right arm long, slowly come up. Exhale, reach. You can keep a micro bend in that front knee if you need it. Inhale the top arm up and over the head, follow it with your gaze. Exhale, look down, pull the arm back. Feel the beautiful stretch for neck and shoulder. Right arm extends, inhale, come up. There's 3 more here like this. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last 2 on your own. Legs stay firm, holding that grounding. Inhale, come up on that last one, and then we'll find our way back to that neutral position. Feet parallel, hands to hips, excuse me, lengthen the tailbone and absorb the lower belly in. Good, hands on the hips, inhale, extend through the heart. Hold the hips as you forward fold, and then you're pushing your hands into your hips to help lengthen your hips away from the crown. So the weight of the upper body, the weight of the head, and gravity helps to pull the crown down, while your hands are pushing into that little crease to push the hips back. And you get a nice little traction there for the back body. Breathe into it. Watch the tendency to sink into the heels. Keep the breath flowing. And now inhale, press down into the feet, slowly rise up. And heel toe your feet back to center. Come into standing mountain pose at the front of your mat. Arms by your side. Take a moment to just let everything settle. Maybe noticing again space or expansion, the absorption of prana into each and every cell. Open your feet a little wider than hip distance apart. Turn your toes out, heels in. Bring your hands to your heart, and we're going to sink down into a wide squat. So take your time, bend the knees. If you need a block underneath your hips, you're welcome to take one. Elbows go on the insides of the knees, press them apart, and then gaze can be either at the floor or the horizon, and just let that tailbone lengthen. Breathe deeply here. So we're just going to open up through those hips a little bit deeper. We've already done some work for them in preparation for deeper variations on the floor. One more breath here. And now bring your hands behind you, just allow your hips to come down, extend your legs out wide into Upavishta Konasana, and then if you need to, scoot your hips forward. We want to have an anterior tilt so the pelvis is tilting forward, and as you flex your feet, they should point relatively straight up. Good, fingers in a finger stand to start. Inhale the sternum tall, and then exhale. You can close your eyes and just begin to walk the fingers forward. And stop at that first place where you find sensation. And be really honest with it. Where are you feeling that little bit of resistance in the body? Send your breath there. You've got lots of room now for the breath to travel. And of course, where the mind goes, that's where the breath goes anyway. And then if you'd like, you can go down a little deeper. then keep going down as the body gives permission. You can stack your fists if you want to rest your forehead down. Of course, you could also use a block there too if you need to. And keep giving in, keep letting go of resistance. One more here. And then we're going to just lift our torso about halfway up. And now square your chest to your left thigh. So to the best of your ability, rotate the navel. And now let your upper body soften over that left leg. And if you can, grab shin, ankle, or foot or heel and let the head and neck relax. Try your best to stay anchored through the outside of the right hip and wants to start popping up off the floor. And if you're really flexible, you can take your left forearm on the inside of your left calf, palm facing up or grabbing onto the big toe pad of your foot. Try to best to keep that left elbow anchored into the floor, pressing against the right calf. And then inhale the right arm up in the air. So now we're bringing in a little bit what feels like a back bend. We're going to take the top arm over the head on your next inhalation, and on your exhalation, bend your elbow and see if you can lean back and rotate your navel deeper to the right. I'm just going to do that a couple times dynamically. So inhale, top arm over the head, a little more length. Exhale, squeeze and rotate. Inhale, one more. And exhale, squeeze and twist and rotate. And then we'll fold back over that leg. We'll come back through the center. Take a moment in the center just to stabilize so the spine finds that symmetry. And then we'll go halfway up with the torso and over the right leg. And then just again, square your chest as best as you can. Hands to shin, ankle, foot, or floor. And we're going to soften down now on the right side. Remember, your breath goes into any area of sensation, so the inhale will intensify it, and the exhale can help to melt it. Now, if you're feeling comfortable, you can take that right forearm on the inside of the calf, palm facing up, or grab the big toe pad of the foot. But try to keep that elbow bent and anchored to the floor. Inhale your left arm up and over the head. And dynamic, exhale, bend the elbow, rotate a little deeper to the left, lean back with the chest. Inhale, extend. You're just playing around in there a little bit. Exhale, squeeze and rotate. Inhale, extend. Go slow, be mindful. Exhale, squeeze and rotate. And then we'll just forward fold again through center. Find symmetry. Let the body adjust. And just walk your hands back. Take your time. We were down for a while. Sit tall for a moment. One hand under one knee, the other hand under the other. Just use the hands to bend the knees. And then just guide them back to the center. We're going to cross the left leg over the right. And if you have a strap or something that you can grab onto, that might be helpful. So setting up for cow's face. Left leg is over right, hands on the inner foot, lift the hips off the floor, twist back and forth a little bit, and then lower the hips back down just to secure the legs. And then since the left leg is over, the left arm will go under. You can hold the strap in the right hand if you need it, and then drop it back. If you don't need the strap, then you can just bind with the fingertips. So cow's face here, breathe deeply. Lengthening here, this right elbow up towards the ceiling. Again, a lot of this has to do with that lateral length. And then breathe, close the eyes. And just notice how you feel. Holding cow's face, breathing into any of the sensitive areas. Keep lifting that top elbow up a little higher. And then gently release. So the left arm is going to cross over your chest. Just hook the right arm under at the elbow and pull the tip of the shoulder down and away. I'm just going to stretch it the other way. Okay, we'll switch legs. So just cross right leg over left. Simple. And then you can place your hands on the inner foot, lift your hips off the floor for a moment, kind of wiggle back and forth, and then lower them back down. This should give you relative same spacing of the feet on each side. Since the right leg's over now, the right arm's going to go under, so you'll hold the strap with the left hand, and now wiggle the hands back behind you. And just see how far you can go. If you don't need the strap, you don't have to use it. Left elbow lifts up high, and breathe. It's nice sometimes just to close the eyes here and even visualize the spine. Remember, in and down on inhale, up and out on exhale. And so many of these postures get into areas that get tight, chronically tight from our lifestyle. So notice where those are in your body today. Last one here. And then we'll release the strap. And it's the right arm now that goes across the chest. Hook the left arm under at the elbow and pull the tip of the shoulder down and away. Release that. Come onto your back. Knees to chest coming in and giving a nice little hug. Feet a little wider than hip distance, knees fall in, relax. And now hands under the knees. Roll yourself back up and put your socks and sweaters on so that your body temperature cools down slowly, preparing yourself for Shavasana. And then just completely let go, soften and surrender. Feel the shoulder blades tuck underneath you, legs a little wider than hip distance apart, arms down by the sides, palms face up. And then settle the breath, no longer trying to shape or control it, just let it come in and go out with ease and grace. So very slowly begin to deepen your breath. And then just run the thumb across the fingertips. And roll the wrists and the ankles. And curl the knees into the chest. And roll over into fetal position on the right side, arm under the head as a pillow. And placing a hand into the earth, slowly come back up into seated. Head and neck heavy, eyes closed as you come up. And then you can take a moment to prop your sit bones up. So sit with a tall spine and a relaxed body. Enjoy all the space, perhaps even feeling the body filled with light, filled with prana. And then bring your hands together in front of your heart. Let your thumbs touch your sternum, bow your head. And just go back to the intention that we set. Trust that we received what we could receive and let the rest go. And we'll seal the practice with a chant of Om one time. Deep inhale in. Long exhale out. Another deep inhale in. Namaste.